Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. So you own cattle and you want to find out what they're worth? Where do you do that? How do you do that? You go to the internet and look on the market news service, or you look for printed reports of cattle prices. That's where you might find some information, but when you want to find out what something is worth, you come to your local livestock market. This market is very extreme right now, and there's a lot of changes in it from day to day. And true price discovery is found when you have cattle for sale and you've got a buyer section full of buyers wanting to buy cattle. And that's what happened here at Okeechobee this week. So you've got to have a livestock market. You have to have auctions to find out what something is worth, and that's what prices are based off of: true competition and negotiated cattle transactions. And that's what happens at your local livestock market. When you have a product that to sell, you got to have more than one person wanting to buy it to find out really what it's worth. So I'm just trying to say that without livestock markets, you're not going to have true price discovery in cattle, and that's a base price. And livestock markets, ours and most of all of them in general, are places where people with a few head bring their cattle, or big places that have a lot of cattle bring their leftovers or their cuts or cattle that didn't make the loads, the big semi loads. So we end up with all kinds of cattle here, and usually the prices are lower through a livestock market than they are when you sell directly from a ranch, or there's a truckload load of cattle that are sold on the internet or the video sales. Those prices are going to be higher than what they are at the livestock market, truly, because there's premiums for truckloads. You can buy a whole load at one time, and you don't have to sit for 5 or 6 hours at a sale barn and buying cattle one at a time. But that's how you find out what something is worth. When you bring it across the ring, you weigh it, and you sell it to the buyers. They're all bidding on it. You're going to find it's going to go to the highest bidder, and that is a price for that class of cattle. That is a base price. And all the other prices, your truckloads, your videos, your internets, are based off that price discovery. So you have to have that competition. And we saw a lot of competition here this week. We had a lot of cattle for sale, and it was really kind of weird yesterday. You don't see it happen very often. Most of the time, the feeder classes are 80% of your volume, and 20% of the volume are your slaughter classes. But yesterday, we had close to 1,500 head, and half of them were bulls and cows, just because this market is so hot right now. It's still a weather-related event. The winter storms coming across the country have cut down on supply in the east and the north, and so there's just you can only get those cows and bulls in certain parts of the country, and that's in South Florida. You can certainly get them down here. But anyway, we saw tremendous volume in cows and bulls, and the market held up the whole day long. And we had some very, very good cows. Jay Walpole had some good cows in here. Kissimmee Oaks had some good cows in here. We had some dairy cows from Larson Dairy, just from all over the place, people taking advantage of these high prices. And we had some real good calves come in here too, and calves were even higher. Richard Borland just came and picked his check up from Old Prairie, and he was tickled to death. That was the last of his calves that he had held on to, and they brought more than his better calves that he sold back in the fall. So I did see some 500-pound calves bringing up there around 180, 185. I don't know about 190, but it just sure feels like we're going to see a 500-pound steer calf bring $2 here before long. But it's very exciting. It's cool to see, and you can tune into our OkeechobeeLivestockMarket.com. You can tune into the sales and watch these cattle sell every Monday and Tuesday. Go on our website and watch our live sale that starts at 12 noon, and you can see what these cattle are bringing. It's pretty neat. So it's all looking pretty good. locally and also nationally. There's still drought. Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma, all those places out there in the plains are still in a big drought. There's a lot of herd dispersal or cattle coming to town because of lack of feed, and I just think that once we get through all this dispersing of these cows and all, this thing's going to get crazy. But glad to see the market coming back around. And let's see what else is going on. I guess that's about it, but we did have some high prices this week. Barry Lewis, right here in Okeechobee, had a 130-pound little calf off of some heifers that he had there. A 130-pound calf that brought $2.95, bought by Enterprise. And on the slaughter cow side, I mentioned Jay Walpole had some good big cows in here. And here's one that weighed 1,605 pounds that brought $1, bought by FPL. That's your market report. Thank you.